the timer at 30 seconds. But please, let's try to be quick about this. 12 teams, a lot of people going. We want to see how the draft plays out, so be quick about the picks. We are going to randomize the draft order. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Randomizing. We will have, wow, very interesting. Early in the mock draft, we are going to have a bunch of auto-drafting teams. IP Shade 45 just kind of cheated and took number one spot. Very interesting from IP Shade 45, but okay. But anyways, we're going to have a lot of auto-drafting teams. That's not bad. A lot of leagues that you play in, there's some buffoons who don't show up for their draft. So we're going to learn a lot from the computer, see how that plays out. Okay, IP Shade 45, sneaky, you go first. Everybody ready to go? Everybody ready to mock? Let's go, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Let's mock draft. And IP Shade 45 is on the clock first. Half PPR league, everybody. Half PPR league. And not surprising, IP Shade 45 in the half PPR does take Justin Jefferson first. Jorge goes number second. Jamar Chase goes second. Run on wide receiver. Notice in the half PPR, wide receiver goes first. Travis Kelce went fifth. That was an auto-drafting team, but very interesting here. Now, I'm the first to go. I'll take Austin Eckler. I'll take the running back in a half PPR. I still like that opportunity. El Pinche goes next. Bijan Robinson. Not surprised that these are the wide receivers and the running backs to come off. A little surprised Kelce went fifth. Tells you something, everybody. Stephon Diggs went eighth to the auto-drafting team. Candyman next to go. Candyman, Bobby Jr., and Andrew. Waiting on Candyman. Don't know if he's in the draft yet. Looks like his time may run up. He would be getting Cooper Kupp. Time's up. It's Cooper Kupp. Bobby Jr. next to go. Then Andrew and an auto-drafting team at Team 12. So it'll be interesting to see how we go from rounds 1 and 2 on that double pick. Sleeper had Kelce high due to his points compared to, okay, very interesting. Jorge, there's no cheating in a mock draft. If he did that in a real draft, okay, we'd have problems with it. Run on wide receiver throughout that first round. Kupp, Brown, and Lamb go. Then Chubb and Barkley. So Team 12 got 2 running backs. Running backs are going to be highly valued. Maybe not in the second round, but certainly in the third and the fourth, because people are going to run out of them quick. Wide receiver, though, in the half PPR, you could tell that's been the popular play. Bobby Jr. on the clock. Took A.J. Brown first. Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. Team 8 takes Devontae Adams. Diego, you are on the clock. Very interesting. Mahomes is number 1 in the draft position. But El Pinche takes Tony Pollard. I know a Cowboys fan when I see one. I love Jalen Waddle this year. I'm going to take Jalen Waddle, my first wide receiver. Team 5 takes Mahomes, so he's got 2 Chiefs. Team 3 takes Josh Allen, so a bit of a run on the quarterback position. Interesting that 2 computer drafting teams, auto drafting teams went quarterback. The humans didn't, the machines did. IP Shade 45, I understood what you were doing. I was just giving you a hard time. No issue with me, man. Egg, didn't mean to go A.J. Brown. Still a good pick. Not a bad pick. A.J. Brown's still good. Josh Jacobs comes off the board. Especially in a half PPR, I don't think A.J. Brown's a bad selection. IP Shade 45 has an interesting 1-2 combo here. He goes Jalen Hurts and then Chris Olave. Interesting. He's going to wait on the running backs. Got his quarterback. 3 quarterbacks off the board in round 2. Very telling. We're trying to do these mock drafts so we can learn something every single day. Very, very interesting. How do we feel about a healthy Keenan Allen? About as good as I feel about an injured Keenan Allen, because from injured to healthy, it usually comes pretty quick. Okay, Eckler, Waddle are the first 2 that come off. I mentioned I like Travis Etienne. It's a half PPR. Great. I get my 2 running backs, and both are good in PPR situations, so they'll stay on the field. I love that selection to get Eckler, Waddle, and Etienne. I definitely feel like I'm having the draft I want. Team 5's got a good team, though, in terms of a starting lineup, though wide receivers might be getting harder to come by. El Pinche, where does he go with the next pick? He goes to Devontae Smith. Good selection there. Breece Hall goes next. Candyman in an auto draft goes with Joe Burrow. Bobby Jr. goes with Jahmyr Gibbs. So A.J. Brown, Henry, and Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a nice trio. Andrew has Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Would expect him to go away from wide receiver here. Running back, though, there's been a run on running back over this round. He goes Joe Mixon. Metcalf goes next, along with Lamar Jackson. Team 12 building a nice team. Auto drafting team, but Chubb, Barkley, Metcalf, and Lamar Jackson, very nice. Notice, though, that the quarterbacks, Justin Fields goes next to Andrew. Quarterbacks are going sooner and sooner. The more mock drafts I do, I'm surprised at how many quarterbacks are going. Calvin Ridley, nice pick by Bobby Jr., but then Deebo Samuel goes next. Allen, Cooper. So once again, the run on wide receiver happens, but I'm kind of nervous that there are quarterbacks coming off the board. 12-man league, I don't want to risk it. I'll take... tough. I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence because I think he's going to face worse defenses. So I'll take Trevor Lawrence, though Justin Herbert... Yeah, I'll take Trevor Lawrence. Team 4 takes Herbert, so the quarterback's continuing to run. At this point, it's interesting. Round 4, if you don't have a quarterback, you're starting to get tough in your selections. Dameon Pierce, Aaron Jones, so quarterback and running back, the popular trend at the back half of this round 4. Entering round 5 with IP Shade 45, taking J.K. Dobbins, his first running back. Will he go back-to-back at that position? He does with Cam Akers. Not a bad pick. Might be one round early, but who cares at this point? You need to get depth where you can. Jorge the GOAT on the clock. McLaurin, Hopkins. Hawkinson goes to Team 4. I had my eye on Hawkinson, so a little disappointed there. But actually, I'm going to go back to the wide receiver position. Anything here? I'll go DJ Moore. I'll get that second wide receiver. I'll take DJ Moore. I really like my team. I would have taken Hawkinson if he had stayed up on the board, but I'm not crazy about the tight ends there. Team 8 took Kittle. Candyman takes Drake London. Bobby Jr. back on the clock. By the way, Bobby Jr.'s got a great team. Darren Waller. Wow, not expecting that one. I think that's a bit of a reach on Waller. Maybe you really like him. Not expecting that one. I like Anime is stacking those Miami Dolphins wide receivers. Not a bad plan. Bobby Jr., I loved your team until the Waller. Maybe I'm wrong on that. By the way, Team 12's built a great team. I would have gone with a wide receiver over Madison, but Team 12, the auto-drafting team, really strong. Andrew takes Dalvin Cook as his second running back. Bobby Jr., after taking Darren Waller. He could use a quarterback. He goes Christian Watson. Interesting. He's waiting. Bobby Jr.'s waiting on the quarterbacks. El Pinche now on the clock after a couple of auto-drafting teams. We are making our way through the 6th round of this 12-team half-PPR snake draft, mock draft. Swift is the number 1 running back still on the board. Goddard goes next. The tight ends have been going kind of furious. I'm going to go with David Njoku. Might be a bit of a reach down, but I'll go Njoku here. So I've developed my starting lineup outside of my kicker and my defense. Run on wide receiver now. Williams, Ayuk, Pittman. Where will Jorge the GOAT go? So we get that turnaround with IP Shade 45. Pacheco, interesting pick from Jorge the GOAT. IP Shade 45, next to go. Swift, Kamara, Lockett, Brown, and Kirk are the top 5 players remaining right now on the board. Curious to know where IP Shade 45 goes with these two. Rashad White, so the run on running back goes a little bit. See if he goes tight end here. Does he have a quarterback yet? Yeah, he had Hurts early. Let's see if he waits on the tight end. You can't wait too much longer. I feel like tight end's going to go fast. Tight end, wide receiver. He goes Smith and Jigba. I think it's a bit of a reach. Christian Kirk, Kamara, Lockett, Brown. The wide receiver position. I'm going to do a reach myself probably right now. I'm going Zay Flowers. Heavy reach, but I'm crazy about Zay Flowers, and I think he's going to get enough targets to justify the pick. There's a run on wide receiver right now. The youngsters are going to go. The reason I took him here, once Shade 45 took Jackson Smith and Jigba, I felt like the rookies were going to go. Jordan Addison went to Candyman. A couple of running backs mixed in here in the 7th round, but really it's been heavy wide receiver. Make sure you guys are following Butt Fumble Sports. Hit that follow button. Of course, share the channel. Let others know about Butt Fumble Sports. Certainly appreciate the support. I don't like the tight ends remaining. I appreciate 45. I get that. No. I get the play. I think just Jackson Smith and Jigba was a little early. But you can set the trend because you're in that back-to-back pick slot. Bobby Jr. took Cook. Then Schultz went next to Andrew. Evans and Montgomery went back-to-back to Team 12, who's built a really nice team. I really like what Team 12's done. For an auto-drafting team, I think they did a decent job, actually, or the computer, the algorithm. Herbert goes next to Andrew. Kind of an interesting pick, not who I expected to come off the board there. As we make our way through the 8th round of this draft, Dotson, Bobby Jr., I really like Dotson. I think that's a good pick. Pickens goes next. Pinche goes with A.J. Dillon. I only have 2 running backs right now. I really need a third. I really like Charbonnet. I mentioned him earlier, but that's not who I'm going to take. I'm actually going to take Brian Robinson. I think Brian Robinson's actually going to have a big year, so I'll take him. I'll let Charbonnet sit out there. A couple of wide receivers go. Quentin Johnston, Michael Thomas. Tight end. Ingram, Jorge the Goat got Ingram. I thought that's where Shade 45 was going to go with his pick. Shannon Sharp to first take. Yeah, I heard that. Shannon Sharp is going to first take. It's going to be a really interesting situation. Freiermuth and Charbonnet to IP Shade 45. Kind of expected that. Jorge the Goat next on the clock. Does El Pinche have a quarterback yet? I feel like Dak Prescott's in El Pinche's future. Diego. Brandon Cooks goes next. Burks. Oh, Dak Prescott went to Team 4. Team 5 took Tony. I was going to go with Kadarius Toney. Tough spot. Okay, I'm going to take a bit of a flyer. I'm going to get I could use some more depth at wide receiver. But I'm going to go with a second quarterback. I'm going Tua Tagovailoa. I know it's early to take the second quarterback, but I really like the idea of getting a second one, kind of playing Trevor Lawrence off of him. El Pinche, you're on the clock. Sky Moore, Gabe Davis. Candyman goes with Rashad Penny. Anthony Richardson is the highest remaining player in terms of draft position. Man, I was kind of surprised when the Colts drafted him. Or when the Colts announced him as the starter. Bobby Jr. takes Geno Smith. He has his quarterback. Team 12 took Richardson and paired him with Lamar Jackson. So the auto-drafting team's thinking the way I am, which is you want to have that second quarterback maybe now because there's just a lot of competition in this draft. Juju Smith-Schuster goes to Andrew. That could turn out to end up being a better pick if Mac Jones and that Bill O'Brien offense might be better. Sorry about that, Candyman. Oh, Diego, you weren't thinking Dak. Okay. I haven't seen the announcement yet. I'll have to. Bunch of people are now getting that second quarterback. So the trend was definitely set. I'm going to go over to... By the way, I'm hearing a ton about this guy. Devon Achane? I'm going to take him. I've heard a ton about him. I'll take him as a flyer. He's my fourth running back. Just add some depth. I'll take him. A lot of people are buzzing about him. Dalton Kincaid. Jorge, I really like that pick. getting a second tight end and making it Dalton Kincaid. I thought about him. I valued the running back position a little bit more, but that's a good pick by Jorge. We are about to enter round 11 as IP Shade 45 looks to make that turn. IP Shade 45 goes with the two defenses. He's been doing that earlier. I personally, I hate it. Like, I get it. It's not how I would draft, but if that's how you want to do it, go for it. If you were doing it literally the next time through, but maybe you're afraid defenses will start to go sooner than then, but I just don't think it's a good move. I don't think your team's strong enough to be able to do that. Like, at wide receiver, you only have 3 wide receivers. Is everybody staying healthy? Has everyone got a good matchup? I'm just surprised. But IP Shade 45 can do what he wants. Sam Laporta, I'm going with a tight end, looking for that second tight end. Rodgers and Goff was on your mind. I gotcha. Candyman, it's just the buzz I'm hearing. You might be right. Maybe I reached too much on a bad pick. Komet comes off the board. Pinche went with the defense. I'm still waiting on the defenses. I'm not going to take the bait. I know there are 4 defenses have come off the board, but I'm not going to take a defense before round 12. But again, in a 12-team league, defense is not nearly as valuable as some of the players you're still drafting here. Because I think week-to-week matchups are going to be critically important. I don't think you can just slot in players like you used to. In part because I think fantasy football got more sophisticated. I think a lot of people got smarter. I think it's harder now to win your league. On the turns, you can change projection of the draft. Okay. Tyler Algier to Bobby Jr. Candyman now going. Now, defenses have been popular. I would say 12th round, fine. But I think taking them in the 10th and 11th round, I think you miss out. I still think there are wide receivers you can take. I'm going to take Rice. I like getting a member of that Kansas City receiving game. So that's my 4th wide receiver. I've got 4 wide receivers. I've got 4 running backs. I've got 2 quarterbacks. I've got 2 tight ends. Now I'm thinking about defense. Now I would consider it. But I think taking defense too early, I think you miss out on some really good talent. I think Rocket Guy, I think that is a Raider symbol. Romeo Dobbs goes to Jorge the GOAT. Romeo, Christian Watson, there might be some sleeper good plays on that Packers passing game if Jordan Love has anything. Let's see if IP Shade 45 goes with a kicker. Oh, I do like Mingo. Shade 45, I do like Mingo. That's a good pick. And Michael Mayer. Okay. I like Michael Mayer. Good tight end. Pairing him with Freiermuth. Wow, Jorge the GOAT with Russell Wilson. Yuck. Okay. You can have him. Defense. Which defense would I go with? I'm going to go with the Patriots defense. I actually think they're going to be a top 5, top 6 defense. So given where I'm drafting them, it's about appropriate. I'm drafting them as the, 5th defense overall? 4th defense overall? It's about that spot. 5th defense. El Pinche, next to go. He got the Jets defense 2 rounds ago. He goes Musgrave. Again, the Packers could be an interesting play. Rondale Moore, if you like the Arizona Cardinals. Only 2.5 rounds left or so in this 12-team half-PPR snake mock draft. Appreciate all of you guys watching, no matter the platform, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. Bobby Jr. goes with a kicker. He takes Justin Tucker. Andrew next to go. Let's see if Andrew goes for a defense, goes for another wide receiver. He goes Butker. Okay, kickers are going fast now. Andrew, let's see where he goes with his, I'm assuming it's going to be defense now. No, he goes Tank Dell. Tank Dell, great pick by Andrew. Getting Tank Dell in the 14th round could end up being an absolute steal. Andrew, I love that pick. Great job. By the way, and the fact that he came after Butker, kind of an interesting move. But I think Tank Dell, much like Zay Flowers, I think word's out about Tank Dell and the fact that he's a stud. Candyman goes Ravens. El Pinche. Where's El Pinche going to go? Singletary, Young, Johnson, Warren, and Zay Jones, number 1 players on the board. Kicker, I'm going Brandon McManus. Maybe a bit of a reach down, but I do like McManus. Dolphins defense went to team 3, Jorge the GOAT. As we finish out round 14 and then the last round of our 12-team half PPR snake mock draft. Elliott goes next. I would expect IP Shade 45 to get a kicker out of one of these two. And then let's see where he goes with his last one. He goes Derek Carr. Derek Carr, some love for his former Raider. And Sanders with the kicker. Jorge the GOAT next to go. Jorge the GOAT. Where's he gonna go? Final pick, final round. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Candyman, I don't understand it either, but some people have a strategy. They stick to it. That's what they want to do. Singletary goes. Myers goes. Saints, Seahawks. Okay. Defense. Do I want a second defense? I kind of do. I'll take the Steelers as a second defense. Again, taking a second defense in the last round, I'm fine with that. Diego has his defense, has his kicker. Final pick for Diego. We are going to do a mock draft tomorrow night as well. We'll do a mock draft at about 6 o'clock tomorrow. I think we should do an auction draft tomorrow, guys. What do you think? If you guys want to be a part of our auction mock draft tomorrow, that's Friday. Friday, August 18th, we are going to do an auction draft, a mock draft that's an auction draft. If you haven't done one before, they are so much fun. So we're going to do that Friday, August 18th at 6 o'clock. If you want to participate, DM us on Instagram. Fumble Sports on Instagram. We'll share the link with you guys tomorrow. So again, we're finishing up our mock draft for today. But if you want to participate in our auction mock draft tomorrow, DM us at Fumble Sports on Instagram. Bobby Jr. making his last selection.
Oh, come on.
Time up on Bobby Jr. Tom Brady. Wouldn't you know? Tom Brady finds a way to get into another draft. If nothing else, a tribute to the GOAT. Andrew, final pick for Andrew. Loved him getting Tank Dell in round 14. Final pick, Jaguars defense and the Bucks. Really quickly, just going to go through it. IP Shade 45. Like what IP Shade 45 did early on. Jefferson, Olave, good pairing. Hurts is the quarterback. Decent 3 running backs. I think he ran out of, 12 teams. Hard to wait waiting until the 4th round to get a running back. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think IP Shade 45 has a really good team. He just did everything I thought around later than I would have, or around earlier than I would have. So he waited around later to get a running back. He took Jackson Smith and Jigba around earlier. He took the defenses around earlier, if not 2. So overall, good team though. Jorge the GOAT. Really like Chase and Higgins, doubling up on that Bengals team. Jacobs and Aaron Jones, not bad. I love Pacheco as your third running back. Love McLaurin as your third wide receiver. It's a really strong team. He waited on quarterback for Russell Wilson. That was the mistake. Yuck. Hate Russell Wilson. You got 2 tight ends before you took a quarterback. Could have done better there. Team 3, really strong in the first 3 picks. Then just a ton of wide receivers. Didn't really fill out the rest of the lineup well. Not crazy about Team 3. Team 4, really like the starting lineup. McCaffrey and Harris. Wilson, and then a combination of wide receivers with Hawkinson and Herbert. Love that. Defense, though, is the Saints. Not crazy about that, given that defenses came out as fast as they did. Team 5 went heavy on the Chiefs. Kelsey and Mahomes. Really like that 3 running backs in a row. got good wide receivers, but not great. Just too late on the wide receiver position overall, especially in the half PPR, even though he did load up on the back half of the draft. Looking at how Fumble Sports did, I really like that I was able to get Eckler and ETM. Love Waddle. Probably could have waited another round, maybe on quarterback, but not too much longer. So I'm happy I got Lawrence where I did. Pairing Moore and Waddle, really like my starting lineup. Njoku, fine, I could have waited around. Maybe gotten another wide receiver, but I liked Zay Flowers as my number 3. Okay, Achane, or however we're pronouncing it, maybe I don't have enough depth at running back, but I really love my team. Not going to lie, this is definitely one of the better mock drafts I think I've had, especially for a 12-team league. Not easy, so I like what I have. El Pinche, good running backs to start, good wide receivers to follow. Got some running back depth, got some wide receiver depth, though I'm not as big on Johnson as some others are. Quarterback position, clearly you wanted Rodgers, clearly you wanted the Jets defense. So maybe you didn't fill out the bench as much as well as I would have liked, but I like the starting lineup overall. Team 8, looking at how Team 8 did. Team 8, Diggs, Adams, can't go wrong with those two. Breece Hall is a nice pick in round 3, and Keenan Allen, maybe not the pick I would have made, but that's a really strong 3 wide receivers, 2 in the starting position, 1 in the flex. Kittle, really strong. Running backs, though, okay, I guess these are decent options. They feel like more like flex plays than RB2 plays, but still got Watson and then got Cousins. Really like the team overall. Probably a B-plus team for me for Team 8. Candyman, looking at how he did. Cooper Kupp, he did auto draft for a lot of his draft, so obviously he kind of got buried in wide receivers. He has enough wide receivers to maybe be able to trade, go after a running back or a tight end, but really just too many wide receivers early on. Don't like the running backs. Wide receivers actually aren't that bad, but frankly, this is a wide receiver heavy team. He'd need to make some trades. Bobby Jr., A.J. Brown, love the pick. Actually love the pick. Henry and Gibbs, like that back-to-back, and then Ridley, that's a really strong first 4. Waller was too high for me. Waller's too high because of the draft, because of the injury history. If you were going to get him, I also think, fine, but Higbee's not a good enough backup. I would have gotten a better backup to go with Waller. If I'm doing Waller, expect that he's going to be out maybe 3 games, maybe 4 games in the season, just not crazy about it. Additionally, looking at like Watson, love Dotson. Those 2 I think were really strong picks. Love your wide receivers, Bobby Jr. Geno Smith and Goff, that's a good tandem. Tom Brady was a throwaway, that's a tribute pick, but you got a good team. Really like your team overall. Probably the second tight end could have been better. I probably would have liked to go with Gerald Everett more than Higbee, believe it or not. Andrew, love the wide receivers to start. Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown, fantastic, really good pick. Mixon, okay. Justin Fields, okay. Jerry Jeudy, I would have gone with another running back here. You have your 2 wide receivers. Jerry Jeudy, I'm not as big on the Broncos offense. I would have gone after a running back. You waited, still got Dalvin Cook, not bad. You turned the corner. I guess the only other running back you could have gotten was Madison. But that said, I guess I'm okay about that tandem. Really, I feel like you could have waited on the quarterback, gotten another running back, and you still could have gotten a combination of these players. Schultz, fine. Like him, probably not my favorite for a number 1 tight end. I definitely would have gotten a second tight end. Zeke Elliott, he might be a touchdown vulture, but other than that, I don't think you're going to get big production out of him. Beckham Jr., Juju Smith-Schuster, are we going in the time machine? Hopefully those guys have a bounce-back year. I thought Tank Dell might have been one of the best picks of your draft, funny enough, and it came in round 14. Finally, round 12, last team that we're going to focus on. Love how he started, Chubb and Barkley. Really good with Metcalf, Lamar Jackson, just good team overall. Kyle Pitts. I actually like Mike Evans as the wide receiver too, but didn't get another wide receiver until Bateman. Probably waited a little too long. Got some depth at the running back position, but if you notice, the auto-drafting teams that are computers, they have a tendency to kind of lean in heavy towards one position, so that was an example. Anyways, that's our mock draft for today. Thursday, August 17th. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Fumble Sports does a mock draft almost every day. If you want to participate in our mock draft tomorrow, Friday, August 18th, you guys can do so by DMing us. Just hit us up on Instagram, but Fumble Sports on Instagram is where we are. You can DM us. We'll share a link with you guys tomorrow because we will do an auction mock draft at 6 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. One more time, DM us, but Fumble Sports on Instagram. We will send you a link so you can claim your team and participate in our auction mock draft at 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday, August 18th. Appreciate all of you guys being with us.